Hey YouTube, it's Richard, founder of Short-Term Rental University and Airbnb Superhost. Today's video is 100% occupancy good or bad? It depends. And what does it depend on? On your personal goals. I'm going to share with you what I do and what I think, but it's not necessarily good for you or correct. It's just an approach that I have that I want to share with everyone. So the reason I'm filming this video is that we have this Facebook group, there's 7,000 people there, and it seems to me that a lot of people post about 100% occupancy as like the goal or the target or what everyone should be shooting for. And while that might work for some, I don't think that that's the actual goal. I believe that the actual goal for Airbnb and short-term rentals tends to be related to your why, and that why in many cases has to do with profitability, and 100% occupancy may actually be away from your why and may be unprofitable. So what I shoot for is maximum profitability with the right guests. I want to reduce headache, problems, parties, things like that, so we just put that to the side. And then at the same time, I want to attract the right people, the right fit, families, business people, and so on, that have more income, disposable income, and they want a better product. And so that's what I do. Now, that doesn't mean that 30 days every single month, 12 months a year, those people are traveling. But if that's what I'm attracting, then I have to have less than 100% occupancy. To put it in real layman's terms, if you were going to go tuna fishing, you have to go tuna fishing in the right sea, at the right period, with the right conditions, and you can't just go drop a line and expect to catch tuna. You might catch a minnow, but is that what you're after? So in my experience in speaking with Ian McHenry, the founder of Beyond Pricing, the optimal mix for me in most of my properties is occupancy between, call it 70 and 80, 85%. If I do that, I have enough days on my calendar that are free for repairs, maintenance, turnover, so that my system isn't going to stress and or break down. And I'm also charging enough that I'm actually optimizing and maximizing my profit. Now, there are periods where I am at 100% occupancy, and that's the peak periods. Holidays, summer, Christmas, etc. And there I shoot for 100%. So I'm not saying that you can't have 100% occupancy for periods of time, but I personally don't want 100% 365 days a year. At that point, you're kind of like a low-priced budget motel that just needs to turn them over. And that's not consistent with my why at all. Now here's an important point. When I say I'm shooting for 70 to 75% occupancy, that doesn't mean that I'm turning down 20 to 25% of bookings, right? Like, I'm not doing that. But what I am saying is I'm pricing myself such that the market finds its own natural equilibrium, and I'm priced too high for a lot of the people that aren't a good fit for me, and they book somewhere else. So by design, I'm charging the rate that will clear the market about 75% of the time. So here's why I do it. The first thing is there's less wear and tear on the unit, right? Like, my unit has to last 30 years or 40 years or 50 years, and having people coming and going constantly in and out the door, constantly churning, is going to be much more wear and tear. And then I have to reinvest and I have to repair, and then during that reinvestment and repair period, my unit is offline. I can't be gut renovating something because it was deteriorated and be producing income. So if I slow it down a little bit and I can do intermittent repairs and maintenance and so on all the time, then my business can be open for 30 years or 40 years or 50 years without having that like closed for renovations period. The second thing is I'm getting the right people in there. Generally speaking, in my properties, I want families and people that have a little bit more disposable income, and I'll give them more higher end furniture and things like that. If I reduced my price, I might get the wrong people in there. And so to give an example, if I wanted to optimize, or any of us wanted to optimize for 100% occupancy, I have a surefire way. I can guarantee you can do it. You want to do it? You want 100% occupancy? Put your nightly rate for $1. I guarantee you sell out 365 days in a row. But you won't like it, and your place will be trashed, and that's not a good idea. This is a business, so find the clearing price where you're optimizing your profit, you're not killing your property, and you're not killing yourself or your cleaning team or anyone else, and I think you'll find it very sustainable and quite rewarding. One other important thing to keep in mind is I'm not taking a pay cut by being at 70 or 80% occupied. In fact, I'm making the same amount of money, actually probably even more money, with less wear and tear and less expenses, right? So if I have somebody in the place 365 days a year. That's heating and air conditioning and water and electric and all the utilities that are being used 365 days a year. If I'm at 250 days a year, there's 105 days a year where utility expenses are going down, wear and tear is going down, my rug is lasting longer, and so on. So the same amount of revenue, lower expenses, increase profit. So do me a favor, leave a comment below with your occupancy rate. Talk about high season, low season, shoulder season. Just tell us what you're doing. What do you see? I hope you found this video helpful. Please go ahead and subscribe to it. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group, now's the time. See you there.